Hi folks, I wanted to talk about my publishing journey, part two. I have quite an interesting couple of stories on this one. So here we go. When I started to put out all of my queries, I did get a publishing offer. It was about 2 months after I started sending them out. And so, of course, I was excited. I got this email in the morning saying they wanted to publish my book. It was a company called Pegasus. They're out of the UK, and they had done a nice letter to me, and then they attached a file that they wanted me to read, and then they were going to send the rest in the mail. I had to go out, so I didn't really have time to read everything in the offer letter. So off I went to make a Grinch Christmas tree, and I got home all, wanting to read what was going on and find out more about it. It turns out that they wanted me to pay them. They wanted me to pay them the equivalent of 4,000 Canadian dollars to have my book published. And they put down that they're going to support me and they're going to market it and they're going to put it in the stores and whatnot. And I'm like, $4,000 is a lot of money. And this is what I would want to do. So I went to the Alberta Writers Guild, of which I was a member, and looked at their trusty website, and they had some FAQs. I was able to find out the information that would help me. They said, if you aren't comfortable with the publisher, go find out some authors who have been published by them, find out their contact information and let them know that this is what you're experiencing. What did they have to say? So I found 6 authors. It's easy to get their contact information. They want you to email them. I told them my story and I said, did this happen to you? And what did you think? They all said, don't do it. Apparently, they take your money, they market your book for a couple of weeks, and they basically leave you on your own to do the rest of it on your own. So you'd have to sell, you only make like $1 or $2 from a book, so I'd have to sell thousands of books in order just to pay off that part of it. And I haven't even made a profit yet, because in Canada, I think 2,000 books or something like that is a bestseller. So unless you're Margaret Atwood, you're not going to sell a whole lot of books in Canada. Okay, so that was the first one. And I just said, no, I'm not interested. And then I never heard from them again, which was fine. Okay, the second offer was, and the other one came in this nice little packaging too. So they send you this and they give you the authors that they've published. And so this is Austin Macaulay out of New York. And they gave me a very nice letter saying, okay. Your manuscript was brought to our attention at the latest editorial board meeting where we discussed its potential and the possibility of it being published. Having read all the reports and taken note of the editor's opinions, I can confidently state that your work is a riveting coming-of-age story that finds Anne torn between the life she is living and finding the means to escape. Her fortunes finally change as she makes a summer escape, meets people that will impact her life in unexpected ways. Anne is not the protagonist. Anne is somebody else in the story. Kathy's the protagonist. They got the characters' names mixed up, and I'm thinking they want my money to do a copy edit, to do all of the things that they need to do to put it out there, and they can't even get the characters' names correct. So I emailed them and said, you got the characters' names incorrect. The name of the protagonist is not Anne. And so she writes me this breezy letter. Thank you again for submitting. I personally read every query. Oh no, this isn't it. Sorry. That is something else. Okay. I'd like to clarify that the review you received in the letter briefly mentioned an and. However, the final section that addressed the protagonist was not linked to a specific character's name. Oh, really? Okay. So I didn't go with them either. And that was 4,000 Canadian dollars as well out of New York. Okay. So the second time, this Austin Macaulay one, I was traveling. So Leslie, my daughter, took the information. The first thing I said was, do they want my money? And sure enough, on page 15, they say that they want my money. And they say they're going to give me 20 books and leaflets and posters and stuff for free, except I would have given them $4,000 for all of that. So not free. Okay, and I didn't know about any of this. Nobody ever said anything to me that this was going to happen or might happen. I don't know if it hasn't happened to any of my other publishing friends, but happened to me. So beware. It's not worth doing. Okay, so this is your typical rejection letter, and I wanted to read it out to you because they're lovely. Dear Heather, thank you for submitting to me. I personally read every query I receive, and unfortunately, I do not feel I'm the best agent for this project. Please know this industry is very subjective, and while I am not fit for this project, the next agent you submit to could be your perfect match. I wish you all the best in your publishing journey, and thank you for thinking of me in your manuscript. Sincerely, Jessica. Okay, so that's pretty typical. So if you're publishing a book and you're waiting, you might get letters like that, but you might get an acceptance letter, and look out to see if it costs you money. Thanks for joining in today.